It seems like everything has gone wrong for Disney when it comes to the promotion of Rachel Zegler's Snow White. This was a movie that before we even saw the first trailer, there had been about a year worth of backlash, from the leaked set pictures to Rachel Zegler's very own words on the red carpet, mocking the original, talking about how they were going to modernize it for a new era because, you know, it's not 1937 anymore. The CGI dwarves, which looked like an abomination. And of course, Rachel Zegler, just in general, until the past few months, sticking her foot in her mouth at every single opportunity. But at least Disney can get one thing right. In their newest promo for Snow White, the first sentence is absolutely true, just not in the way they wish it would be. Walt Disney Studios, the most talked about movie of the year arrives. Disney's Snow White is now playing in theaters, and it is the most talked about movie. Unfortunately for Disney, virtually all of it has been bad. And as we've seen, the box office projections continue to decrease, with just a few days ago, them coming out and saying it's looking at $100 million worldwide opening, significantly less than virtually every other Disney live action. It's not looking good. And now we have the Thursday numbers to prove it. Box office, Snow White makes $3.5 million in previews. And when you stack it up against some of these others, doesn't look so pretty. Snow White has made $3.5 million in Thursday previews at the box office. It's projected to make $45 to $55 million in its opening weekend, plus another $50 million international for a worldwide launch of around $100 million. Based on those projections, Snow White will end up below 2023's Little Mermaid, which opened with $95 million domestic. Globally, it opened to about $167 million. And more in line with 2019's Dumbo, which launched at $45 million. Now, Dumbo had about a $2.6 million opening, Thursday opening. Now, Thursday openings were not as prevalent 6 years ago as they are today. That's one of those factors. But you look at this. This is where we're looking right now. Dumbo ended up with $353 million at the box office. It lost money. It was a failure for them. But they've spent significantly more on Snow White than they spent on Dumbo. Nearly twice as much. When you look at these budget estimates reported at around $250, in reality, over $300 million when it's all said and done. But an important thing to look at when it does come to these movies, and we go back to this first tweet. For comparison, Little Mermaid, $163 million global weekend debut, and Maleficent, right, $175 million. And when you start to look at some of these ones that have come out recently, Maleficent, this is Maleficent, the second one, by the way. Look at the domestic compared to the international numbers. 3 times as much from international as domestic. Dumbo, twice as much international as domestic. And especially for the ones that are actually huge financial successes, something like Aladdin, twice as much international as they got from domestic. That was a problem for Little Mermaid, which did solid domestic, but pitifully internationally, and ended up losing money for Disney. And the numbers we're getting now for Snow White, it pales in comparison, because as much as people are talking about the Thursday previews domestically, on track for 45 to 50 million, they're forgetting to mention that internationally, this looks like the worst performing Disney live action in history. In Japan's post-holiday Friday, saw Wicked and Snow White pretty close. Back at number 1, Wicked grossed $380,000 on its third Friday. So Snow White is making less than Wicked in its third Friday in Japan. That got a very delayed release in Japan for some reason. So Snow White's not even going to be top in Japan in its opening weekend. One of the worst openings they've seen for a Disney live action. In China, live action remake debuts, but almost no one cared. It's in 5th place, on pace for a $1 million 3-day opening. What could be one of the lowest debuts post-COVID for a Hollywood tentpole in China. What about Europe? In France's box office, it's one of the lowest grossing Wednesday opening days ever for Disney live action, and one of the worst word of mouths. Thursday opening day in Italy, among the lowest opening days ever for a Disney live action. Same thing in Germany, about right on pace with Dumbo, but less than recent entries. Everywhere you look, and even Dumbo, which opened only $45 million domestically, opened to about $70 million internationally, for a global total of about $116 opening. This is going to be, if it tracks this way, the lowest Disney live action remake we've seen yet. Now, I don't think there's going to be too much competition for it. That's going to be one of the benefits, but holy shit, this is bad. And all the spin that Disney has attempted to do to save this movie seemingly hasn't worked on audiences. They're not convinced. There's been so much backlash, and people don't like Rachel Zegler. They don't like the creepy CGI dwarves. They don't like that this is a modernized version. And when you watch it, you can tell just how modernized it has been. In between the questionable word of mouth, the rejection of Rachel Zegler by Disney fans, people on political spheres, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of different groups that have a problem with Rachel Zegler. And now here we are, and exactly what we expected to happen, a colossal disappointment flop at the box office, is happening for Rachel Zegler's Snow White. This looks like a disaster for Disney, but at least they're right. It is the most talked about movie of the year, which once again goes to show you, just because people are talking about something, if it's overwhelmingly negative, that's not a good thing. That's not what people want. It's not all press is good press type of thing. If everyone's slamming it and mocking it and making fun of it, just like we saw with The Marvels or The Acolyte for Star Wars on Disney Plus, doesn't mean it's good for the movie and doesn't mean it's going to be successful. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.